Otis, how are you this morning? Are you ready for your walk? Good boy, this way, let's go. Okay, well, we're going to head north for a little bit. We're actually on the Welsh footpath that trails around the coast. So this time we're on the west side, and in the background there you can make out the good almighty Usk Vale power station and the Newport Wetlands. Previously we made a video that took us up to this particular pylon denoting the mouths of the River Usk and the River Ebbw and where they adjoin. And this is the wooden landing stage and also a bit of a breakwater that separates the two. So further on, just down the Usk, the other side of that landing stage takes you into the Newport Docklands, and you just about make out the cranes there and the gantries of the Newport docks. But today we're going to head southwards, actually southwestwards, aren't we, Otis? Yes. Should we go? 1, 2, 3, let's go. Okay. I don't know if you remember from where we finished off at the River Ebbw part 2 episode. We realised that behind these trees up ahead of us was a lighthouse. And we're going to go in and investigate and find out all about it. Okay, Otis, come on. Good boy, come on. Oh, what's he stopped for? Oh, a little run from Thunderbolt. Well, it's literally just come up to 5:30. I was expecting to have a big ball of fire up in the sky this morning, but instead it's remarkably breezy. As you can see, the turbines are having a field day over there producing electricity. But not only is it breezy, it's overcast. And that's the east, where the sun should be coming up. So hopefully we'll get a glimmer of it a bit later on. And because I roasted yesterday, because I left my long trousers on, I got shorts on today. And it's a little bit nippy. It's not really cold though, it's actually 17, 18 degrees. But we've got a nice little breeze actually flowing in the air, probably given an equivalent temperature around about sort of 12 degrees, which is very nice actually. I shouldn't complain at all. The last couple of days in the 30s and almost eking into the 40s was just unbearable. And as the sun rises, we'll be able to get better visibility as well across the Bristol Channel towards Somerset and Avonmouth. And I think you can just about see Devon as we walk further around the coast. Not sure how far we'll walk today. Once I've shown you the lighthouse which is hidden away. Otis, come here. Come here. Right, let me just grab your lead. Only because we've got some live stock here. Yeah, this lighthouse is certainly well hidden away in secrecy. He's eager to go and play with these cows. They may be the same group of cattle that we saw the other day actually, whilst we were walking along this stretch. Actually they probably are, because there's no sign of any cows although there are some in the fields that direction. It's such an overcast day, you can't even make out Tumbalum and Macon Hills today. Oh, he's eager to go off and play. Listen, young man. Otis, Otis. Once we're through this stile and past the lighthouse, I can release you from the tether. Oh, he's eager to get through and out. And here we are. It's not in very good state of repair. This is all part of the Wales Coastal Path. That's a good boy. This way, Otis. Come on, boy. Let's get the other side of this stile. I'm guessing there's a stile, looks like there is to the left of these gates. It's one of the ziggy-zag type stiles that you have to unhitch. And this little boy is eager to get there. Are you ready? Right, you need to go in and around and out. Oh, well done, Otis. You managed it. You're getting better at these stiles and gates. Okay, so that way, this is all private land, by the way, but that way takes you down to the St. Bride's Road. Saying that, so does this way. This coastal path runs parallel with the St. Bride's Road. It's about half a mile that way. And wheel clamping units in operation. No public access to the foreshore. If locked, call office. No, call the Newport police rather. Release fee is £75. The farmers and Lighthouse B&B are not the key holders. Okay. Well, there we are. No authorised parking. So if you're thinking about driving down here, unless you've booked in at the lighthouse here, then forget it. I think actually we're quite safe to let you go now, Otis. It's a good boy. And just appearing on our left, you can just about make out the lighthouse, but we'll wait till we walk around the other side of the trees and give you a little bit more information on it. But at this point, if you actually look at the way the lighthouse is mounted, this was originally an island, and the farmers back in the 1850s filled in this area, and it became part of the mainland. There's a little bit of history you might not know. Hey, Otis, good boy. You keep dropping your lead. Okay. And this is where the mouth of the river Usk deploys into the estuary of the Bristol Channel. And here's some information for you all about James Walker. James Walker, by the way, was a Scottish architect, and there's a good bit of information here. He lived from 1781 till 1862. There we go. A little bit of information about him there. And what I'd like to do is show you this from a bit of a distance. Hopefully you can zoom in. Basically, Walker's first lighthouse was built here on West Usk, and it lit on December the 1st, 1821. It was a modest little lighthouse, and it served vessels proceeding from Bristol Channel to the River Severn. It was decommissioned in 1922, and 2 other lighthouses were built by Walker in Wales. What I'd like to say though is Walker actually went on, yes he did, Otis, he did. He went on to develop over 20 other lighthouses throughout Britain. So the other 2 ones at the time were South Bishop and the Skerries. The Lantern of the Usk was restored by Frank and Daniel Sheehan, who reopened the lighthouse as a hotel in 1989. What I can say is that the lighthouse was decommissioned in 1922. Well, that was quite a way back, wasn't it? I think I actually mentioned that, but there we go. And the bit of information that's not there is that this was built originally on a little island. There we go. Right, we'll take a little walk. By the way, there's the Snail's Lighthouse. And here are the other 2 small lighthouses at South Bishop and Skerries. Okay, Otis. So yes, in 1992, the lighthouse was fully commissioned as a bed and breakfast, and also as a conference centre. And you can actually book it for anniversaries and weddings and birthday parties and things. Well, you can book it for any occasion really. And as we follow the path around to near where Otis is, I'll pan around and give you a little view of the lighthouse. And there she is, today flying the Ukraine flag. She's usually got the Welsh dragon up there, I guess. And if you see the boulders for the protection of the lighthouse, you can see how it was formed. And originally that would have gone right the way around the lighthouse at the same sort of diameter to the side of the River Usk. One thing about the River Usk, it's one of the highest and tide falls in the world, and the quickest. And it may look as if you can walk across the 1 mile span of the River Usk from point to point, but I wouldn't suggest it. In the centre there is a trench dug out for shipping, which is almost 15 metres deep at low tide. Hence the rise and fall of this tide is roughly 30 to 40 metres, which is amazing. And you can just about make out the lighthouse, the light beacon there, denoting the end of the docks. There should be a green one this side and a red one on the other side. I can barely make it out with my eye. Anyway, back to the walk, as Otis is patiently waiting whilst he's sniffing at cow poo. Come on, Otis, this way. And once again, all the way along this walk, very similar to when we walked along the embankments of the Ebu River, they have a lovely well-made embankment here as part of the flood defence mechanism for the area. Otherwise, all these fields would be flooded out by seawater. They got lots of drainage ditches around the fields, and these in Wales are called reens. But that certainly won't protect them against the power of the sea. Otis enjoying a little adventure down there. Hey Otis, how are you this morning? It's actually getting quite breezy, so I'm hoping the microphone isn't getting too much wind noise. I've just angled the camera slightly so that hopefully you won't get so much noise. My hand will deflect the wind. Come on, Otis. Oh, and look at that red glow in the sky. We will get to see the sun sometime this morning. And directly ahead of us, we can make out the end of the English coast, then along to Steepholm and Flatall, very much in the greyness of the sky today. Hi Otis, you finished? You happy now? Okay. Well, it's a fair walk down to the next port of call, and the next port of call being the Lighthouse pub. So there's the Lighthouse in its full glory. And I just want to pan around and look over the wetlands of Newport. And we've got a glow from the sun. Good morning, sunshine. There was a song about that, wasn't there? Good day, sunshine. And yeah, funny enough, good day, sunshine. That reminds me, Gwent Broadcasting, which opened in the 1980s, was a radio station, one of the first ILRs around South Wales. That's an independent local radio station. Well, they opened in the early 80s, and their very first song that they broadcast, I know because I listened, was Good Day Sunshine. Hey dude, you enjoying your walk? Yes, those are the days. We had Gwent Broadcasting for the Newport Gwent area. We had CBC, Cardiff Broadcasting Corporation, which broadcasted from Canary Wharf in Cardiff. I believe it was Wharf Lane that they were actually at. Well before any of the Cardiff Bay development went on, so it's, well, really going back some time. Well, I've mentioned the Heart FM and Capital Radio transmitters before now up at the Celtic Manor. Well, that was originally the Gwent Broadcasting transmitter, and it had two frequencies being broadcast from there. One on medium wave, which was 1305 kilohertz, and the other frequency was 104 megahertz. And back in the late 1980s, 1990s, when the police moved out of the VHF radio band, they moved to 97.4 megahertz. And not long after that, they ceased broadcasting, and a merger happened between CBC and Gwent Broadcasting Radio, or GB Radio as it was formerly known, and a new radio station was created called Red Dragon Radio, and that was a great station as well. Andy Guy and myself actually used to make some tapes to be used on Red Dragon Radio for a program called DX with Older Prey. And every Friday night there was an hour slot of radio DX and information for all us nerds who enjoyed listening to the shortwave bands and VHF bands and the medium wave bands, listening to stations from all over the world. So there we go. And I think Andy Guy would enjoy that little spiel. The rest of you are probably bored now and yawning, so I'll just continue walking and enjoying the morning view. And hopefully not too much wind noise, because it's very loud in my ears at the moment. And over to our right we've got a road quarry. This is where they quarry all the fine stone for building our roads in the area. And every now and then you'll hear an almighty squawk. They have an electronic bird scarer, and it sounds like an eagle or some very large bird of prey anyway. Oh, it's time for a poo bag alert. Okay, I'll just pause the video a moment. Are you okay, Otis? He struggled there and didn't do anything. Very strange. Mind you, I'm not surprised. The things he eats and picks up, you turn your back, and if you have a McDonald's, for example, you'll take the beaker of milkshake away, finish off whatever's left in it, and then tear the carton to bits. I'm sure he digests a fair bit of it. I'm not surprised he has trouble sometimes to go to the toilet. How you doing, wee pup? How you doing? Hey, Otis, I haven't had a cuddle yet this morning. Come here, I haven't had a cuddle. Good boy. That's a good boy. Oh. A beautiful morning it is now. It is. Come on then, let's go. Okay, I just took a look to the east, and the sun still hasn't made an impression through the clouds. It started and then it got absorbed away. Okay, Oti, how are you doing? Well, I'm hoping the video isn't going to be too boring for you all. If you enjoy coastal walks, then this is certainly the walk for you. But I will just pan around to show you the sun. I just saw a glare coming through. It's certainly trying, very trying indeed. Come on, Otis, let's roll. Good boy, good boy. Well, I believe that the Lighthouse Inn is only around about half a mile to a mile away from the lighthouse itself. And there's the lighthouse in the distance. So I'm guessing we got about equal distance to walk to the Lighthouse Inn. We'll increase the pace a little bit so that we're not getting too bored. And we certainly chose a day where the tide is at its lowest. I'm looking out to sea, and it must be at least a half mile before you reach the water. It is just mud, glorious mud, up until then. Hey Otis, you okay? It's a good boy. He'll stand a prance like a horse. Oh, he's intrigued by the cattle again. Yes, they're the other side of a fence and a reen, so we're pretty safe there. Okay, you can stay off lead for a while. Oh, a heron taking off. It's actually quite difficult to follow him. And into the distance he goes. He was just in the reen alongside us here. Otis is intrigued by him too. Right, let's get back to our march. He's loving watching the cattle in the fields. Did you hear them mooing, Otis? Did you hear them mooing? Well, I did have ideas of coming down here yesterday, but with the temperature, I thought it might be a bit too much for Otis. Hence why we just stuck to the local area yesterday. It's a feral walk down this end of the woods. We're actually coming to not far off the borderline of the Newport area. So the borough of Newport extends to St Bride's, and then you've got a bit of a sketchy area then between St Bride's and St Mellons. But this morning we're just going to head as far as the end of this path, where it meets up with the Lighthouse Inn. And we're just coming up to half hour of recording. Time is just flying by. I was expecting to look down and see 15-20 minutes on the clock then. And the sun has totally disappeared again. Okay, I might do a little bit of magic in a moment and speed this part of the video recording up. So I'll stay quiet a moment, otherwise you get instead of me talking. Otis, come boy. Otis, it's a good boy. Well, it's still very hazy looking over at the Flatholm and Steepholm and across to the West Country in England. I'd like to thank you all, you know who you are, for your kind comments in the messages, along with personal messages you've been sending. And if you think of anywhere in the locality you'd like me to go, then please let me know. Firstly, I think I've exhausted most of the places on the east side of Newport now. And the west side, I think this is as far as we would entertain walking in the morning. Not too bad this morning because the temperature is a lot lower than it was yesterday, but even so, I think this is about the end of our line. And up ahead I can see the stile, denoting possibly the end of our trip for the day. And as we come up towards the Lighthouse Inn, it's been there many moons. I believe it was the late 1800s that it was built, and in the 1950s and 60s my Uncle Goff lived down here as well. There was well, it still is, there's a mobile caravan park there. And he lived there for a little while, and there's a little story about him and his pals going off for a walk and getting stuck in the mud. And look at it, it's so easy to do. Okay, well, if you've enjoyed the video, please click the like button, and don't forget the all important subscription icon. Click away, get yourself subscribed. And if you click on the notification bell at the same time, you'll get to find out when we release the next videos. And over on our right you'll see the Lighthouse Inn, and in the background you'll see the mobile home park, which is almost like a fixed caravan park now. They're more like little bungalows than caravans. And here's the Lighthouse Inn. We're just going to walk on a little bit more up to the Ducat. Yes, holding back a little bit of Scottish for the Scottish clang up north. We started with Mr. Walker designing the lighthouses, and we'll finish with a couple of ducats, or in Wales known as dovecots, down here at the St. Bride's Park near the lighthouse. And these dovecots are very ornate indeed. I'll just zoom in from there. We go. The dovecots of St. Bride's and the Otis of Usk. Good morning. Thank you all for joining us. I'll say cheerio, 73s and good DX to my radio friends. Catch you next time. In the background we'll have a view of Flatholm and Steepholm, and we'll finish with Otis. Otis, see you tomorrow. Bye.